evening, everybody. Hello. Good evening, my name is Christopher Martin. I'm the Director of Fine Arts here at Westboro, and we're so happy to have you at our 5th and 6th grade band concert. It's been a while, you were in this building, but in the gym the last time we heard all of these wonderful students at Bandorama, and I think you're gonna be really impressed with what you hear today, in just a few short months before we head off to summer vacation. Before we begin, I would just like to recognize the wonderful staff that have been working with students all year long. It really is a team effort here, and we couldn't do without each and every one of them. Right in front of me, we have Miss Sarah Harney, our 5th grade band director. We have our 6th grade band director, Miss Forrest, sitting with the group over there. And somewhere in the audience, I know he's here, I just don't know where he is, we also are fortunate enough to have Mr. Evan Doyle assist us with our 6th grade band, so thank you, Mr. Evan Doyle. I'd also like to recognize our wonderful administration here in Westboro, who's so supportive of the arts. Superintendent Amber Bach. Thank you, Ms. Bach. As well as our very supportive principal of Mill Pond, Mr. Peter Gilnitz, who's with us here today. So at this time, I'd like to introduce the 5th grade band under the direction of Ms. Harney. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the concert.
Hello. Oh, nice. Awesome. Hello, everybody. Like Mr. Martin just said, my name is Sarah Harney, and I'm the 5th grade band director at Mill Pond School. We have 3 pieces for you today. And like Mr. Martin mentioned, the last time that you might have heard these students, except for maybe when they're practicing at home, would have been Bandorama, which is all the way back in November, which just feels like forever ago, honestly. What you're going to hear today is you're going to hear a very large improvement since the last time that these students performed for you. There's a big change, a lot of progress, and a lot of growth that's happened since their Bandorama concert in November, and I hope that you get the chance to acknowledge that. The first piece that we're going to play for you today is called Conquest. It's one of the first band pieces that we learned all together where everyone's kind of playing something different. There's a really nice call and response section, so you'll hear the whole band play followed by a small section playing, and they kind of go back and forth in a call and response style, so you can listen for that in this piece. Thank you. So now I'm going to talk, as you can see all of my friends in the back, which are my percussionists, they play different pieces they play different instruments on each of our 3 pieces that we have for you tonight. So I'm going to talk so that they have extra time to move around. The next piece that we're going to play for you today is called Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu is a mountain that's located in what we now call Peru. This piece was written in mind that it's supposed to sound very mysterious, which we have worked very hard on our dynamics, playing strongly and playing softly, in order to make that mysterious vibe come across. So you can listen for that in this next piece. Thank you. Our third piece Our third piece is called A Time to Dance. And when I asked my band, out of the three pieces, which one you liked best, I had a couple people raise their hand for Conquest, which is the first piece we played. I had a couple people raise their hand for the second piece we played, which is Machu Picchu. And then I had a lot of hands go up for this last piece. So this is definitely one that a majority of the band really enjoys playing and really has worked hard on. This piece, out of the three of them, has a lot of different moving parts, which is a very advanced skill for my fifth graders. And they've been doing a really excellent job with coordinating all of the different moving parts in this piece. So hopefully you'll get to hear all of the different things happening at the same time. So please enjoy our last piece, A Time to Dance. Thank you all very much, and I hope that during the whole process of listening to these wonderful students perform, you're thinking back to that Bandorama concert where we just played a handful of notes because that's all we had learned in the month of November. And these students have made a huge progress. Can we please have another round of applause for them? Thank you very much. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do a little band shuffle, and the 5th graders will come down to kind of where the 6th graders are, and the 6th graders will become where the 5th graders are. Okay, so Mrs. Forrest and I will coordinate that switch, so just hang tight until we'll get the 6th grade band on stage. Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you very much for your patience. I first want to take this opportunity to welcome all of the parents of our 5th and 6th grade band members. And secondly, I would like to say how incredibly impressed I was with the 5th grade performance tonight. It was stellar. And I really, really mean that. You did a phenomenal, phenomenal job. Thank you for playing for us. So my name is Karen Forrest. I'm the 6th grade band director at Mill Pond School. And in front of you, you see the 6th grade band. And I have had the most fantastic time this year working with these wonderful students. They have a great sense of humor, and they learned their music beautifully, and a lot of stuff they were challenged with this year. But all of them really just did a great job rising to that challenge. And they are really very ready for Gibbons Middle School. So this is a sad night for me because this is my last concert with them. So we'll do something special in school to celebrate our last week of band. So next week, we'll talk about it at school tomorrow. So anyway, I'd like to echo what Mr. Martin said. I'd like to thank all the administration at Mill Pond School. I would like to thank Mr. Martin. I would like to thank all you parents for the wonderful support that you are giving your children. This is really just a total part of your child experience at school. And they have a nice rounded education because they get to play in a performance. That's really an important learning environment for them. So our first piece this evening is a piece titled The Band in the Square on the 4th of July. The composer is Pierre LaPlante, and the band asked me to tell you a little story about this piece. So Pierre LaPlante imagined himself standing on the side of a street watching a parade. If you can imagine being a parade spectator, and if there's a band that's part of that parade, you hear in the faint distance some marching band music coming. It gets a little stronger and stronger. They play the strongest right when they're in front of you, obviously, and then when they pass you, they fade away into the distance. So this piece was composed with that in mind. It teaches a lot of dynamic contrast, playing strong and playing softly. This is a skill that's commonly taught in grade 6. So here we are with the band in the square. All right, so it was interesting when Miss Harney was working with the 5th grade, she was talking about the band's favorite piece. And so I did kind of the same nosing around last couple of weeks. I said, you know, you're approaching the end of the school year, approaching your last concert of the year. What do you feel is your favorite? You're playing 3 for the concert. And we were kind of a third for the first piece, a third for the second, and the third for the third, but a little bit leaning towards the next piece that you're going to hear. So Iroquois Sunrise is pretty much, I'll say the majority, but a little bit more, not maybe exactly split in the middle, but this is many of their favorite pieces. It's by Gregory B. Rutgers. It has some soloists in it, so you hear some people playing solos. We have Jane Wang on the flute, and Mateus Moscow is going to play a little bit of a flute and clarinet duet in the middle. And the skill set for this is that the second part of the piece is very different from the first, so it's kind of like in 2 movements, if you will. All right, so I think we are ready, and here is Iroquois Sunrise. Before we play our last piece, the percussion needs a minute or two to reset the section for this last one. I wanted to just mention in the program, you may have noticed at the bottom of the first page, there's a QR code for 5th grade parents. If you are interested in registering your child for 6th grade band, you can do that through that QR code, or there'll be something in Google Classroom by the end of the week. But that is in the program if you're interested in doing that now at the end of the concert. It will take you right to a registration form. So for your convenience, we just put it into the concert program. And that's what that's for. The 6th graders are all registered for 7th grade, so they're all set. So they don't need to do any registration for anything. So this last piece is a concert march. It's called Vikings Victorious, and it's by Chris Sharp. What the program that you heard tonight is the program that the students performed at the recent MICA Concert Festival. MICA stands for Massachusetts Instrumental and Choral Conductors Association. They took a bus and went down to Foxborough High School, where they had a panel of adjudicators who listened to their performance. Used a rubric assessment form, very similar to a Mill Pond report card. They were assessed on 9 categories for each piece, and where their numbers fall is the medal rating that they received. And this year, the group received, and it's on pretty much like a national standard for what 6th graders should know and what the expectations are of this age level. And the band received a gold medal this year, so we're really, really excited for them. The last piece is Vikings Victorious by Chris Sharp. Thank you very much. At this time, we are going to have the students file off the stage, and the setup again has to be prepared for the Blue Heron Band, and we will be back with you shortly. So thank you again.
The students that I have on stage, this is a group that is a mix of 5th and 6th graders. A Heron band, do this for me. Raise your hand if you're in 5th grade. Raise your hand if you're in 6th grade. Now, out of my 6th grade friends, raise your hand if this is your 2nd year in Heron band. Anybody? A couple people. Yeah, very nice. Okay, hands down. Thank you. Hands down. And down. Thank you. So this is a group that is a mix of 5th and 6th graders. For students to be a part of this group, they all had to take an audition, which they prepared, and then auditions took place sometime around January, February. So this group has been rehearsing once a week. They rehearse after school, so they're dedicating their free time to come and play more band music, which is awesome. So they rehearse once a week with me, and over the course since the February, we have put together 3 pieces for you tonight. These 3 pieces are meant to give these students not only extra band music to learn for the students that really love to learn their music, but also to find new ways to challenge them and kind of push them further since they're in this extra group that they get to be a part of. So the first piece that we're going to play for you today is Starfire Fanfare. I personally really like this piece. I think it's really interesting. And we'll get started now. Cool. Thank you. The next piece that we've prepared for you today is called Anasazi. And as I've been talking to a handful of musicians kind of on and off as I see them in the hallway, I've heard a lot of people actually, a lot of my students really enjoy Anasazi. It's a really beautiful piece of music. It's very lyrical. And with this piece, my Heron band and I, we have been really focusing on how softly we can play. In the Heron band, I have about 70 students. And to get 70 people to play really softly, I told them that you would be very impressed if we could do that today. So hopefully we will get that really soft dynamic that we've been working really hard on, and you'll notice it. before I begin our last piece of the concert, I would like to take a moment to say thank you all. Thank you to all the parents out there. Thank you for your constant support of our band program. Without you, none of this would be possible, so I really appreciate all of your support throughout the year of our students, so thank you very much. Our last piece is entitled Concerto for Two Hands, which actually features a special guest. So at this time, I would like to welcome the Mill Pond Principal, Peter Gilnitz. I'm not going to tell you what he's doing, but he's doing something very special with this piece, and I think my students have enjoyed rehearsing with their principal. All right, so our last piece in the concert, Concerto for Two Hands. Thank you. And thank you, Mr. G, for joining us on that one. I hope you all enjoyed that. Right. At this time, all of the band students, they all have their instrument cases kind of in the band hallway, so they're going to exit back to where their cases are. They will carefully pack up, and then they will meet you out at the end of the hallway, kind of where you drop them off today, Mr.
Let's have another round of applause for Ms. Harney and Ms. Forrest. And an even bigger round of applause for all the performers tonight.